on the Creator. Call on somebody that has the power. You wasted too much time calling on folks that can't help you get out of what you're doing. Call on the one. But if you're going to trust through the turmoil, you have to rest in His righteousness. Rest in His righteousness. What I found out about turmoil, tragedy, difficulty, chaos, is that it has a way of robbing you of your ability to rest. That's what it does most of all. It has you so stressed out, bent out of shape, going crazy, about to lose your mind. You can't go to sleep, you can't find no rest, no relief. That is the trick of the enemy. That's what it is designed to do. But I came to tell somebody you got to learn to rest in the righteousness of God. He says, you, God, see the trouble of the afflicted. And I came to tell somebody today that God sees everything you going through. It's no surprise to God what is happening in this world. That's why He says, greater is He that is in me than he that is in this world. God is not blind to injustice. God is not blind to what you're going through. God is not blind to your situation. And God has the power and His righteousness to see us through. And what I found about God is that God is not just sitting back and sitting by, but God also brings judgment. Yeah, the reason why perhaps you get so bent out of shape, and the reason why you can't find an opportunity to rest is because you don't understand that God brings judgment. Oh, Lord. I found that you got to be careful how with folks who God has His hands on. That's probably why a lot of us are not finding no rest. We forget that God has favored us, and God has His hands all on us. When you understand that the righteous judge ain't gonna allow nobody to play with you. You understand the power that God has all in His hands. And when you rest in His righteousness, this is what David teaches us. He says, God judges, and God, I'm going to leave the judgment to you. He says, Lord, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm tired of watching those who want to go home and go to sleep because you know God is about to work it out for you. Take not thyself because of evildoers, for they soon will be cut off. I wish I had a witness in the house today and say I found that God will do and make His promises known, that He will make our enemies our footstools. I wish I had a witness in the house that can say that the Lord will prepare a table before us in the presence of our enemies. You better go home and get you some rest. Righteousness of God. that God is in control. I don't care what you're dealing with. I don't care what you're going through. God is in control. Even when nations crumble, God is in control. David says, you listen to the cries of the oppressed, and you secure justice. And brothers and sisters, if you don't hear nothing else, know that God defends the defenseless. Then when you find yourself having done all that you can, I came to tell somebody, all you gotta do is stand. When you ain't got no more defense, and you've done all you can to prove what you have gone through, the only thing left to do is trust the God of your salvation. I came to tell somebody here today that just because the time is gone, don't mean that God is not close by. And I even got to remind us here today that at some point in this world, we were given ultimate evidence that God is in control. I said 2,000 years ago, somebody ought to help me. The world was sinking deep in sin. Oh, I wish I had